Learning window. Simple sentence. Read this sentence. Susan lay in the hammock all afternoon. The verb in this sentence is lay. It is a finite verb. This sentence is a clause. We can say so because it has a subject, Susan, and a finite verb, lay. And this sentence can be divided into subject and predicate. A sentence having only one clause and therefore only a single finite verb is called a simple sentence. Now read this sentence. Susan lay in a hammock under a tree in the garden, watching the clouds and the birds. This is a long sentence, but it has only one finite verb, lay. The word watching is a non-finite verb. Hence, it is still a simple sentence. A simple sentence does not mean a small sentence. It means a sentence with only one finite verb. A simple sentence may have two subjects. Susan and her kitten lay in the hammock. A simple sentence may have two objects. Susan saw clouds and birds. Both these sentences have one finite verb each and are therefore simple sentences. Compound sentence. Read this sentence. Susan lay in the hammock and the kitten slept on the green grass. There are two finite verbs in this sentence, lay, with Susan as its subject, and slept, with kitten as its subject. This sentence is made up of two clauses. Each clause has a finite verb and the two clauses are joined by the conjunction and. The two clauses are 1. Susan lay in the hammock. 2. The kitten slept on the green grass. Both the clauses are of equal importance and make complete sense on their own. Neither of these clauses depends on the other. Such clauses are called principal or main clause. These two clauses can also be written as two separate sentences. Susan lay in the hammock. The kitten slept on the green grass. Or Susan lay in the hammock and the kitten slept on the green grass. A sentence which is made up of two or more principal or main clauses is called a compound sentence. The clauses of a compound sentence are called coordinate clauses. The coordinate clauses of a compound sentence are joined by coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, only, still, therefore, and so are some coordinating conjunctions. Look at these compound sentences and notice how the coordinating conjunctions join clauses of equal rank. Gopal put on a sweater, for it was cold outside. Anjali does not like sushi, nor does she like any kind of fish. I don't want to practice playing the guitar, yet I don't want to disobey my mother. If a compound sentence consists of two clauses and if the subject of the second clause is the same as the subject of the first clause, the second subject is usually not mentioned. Example, Susan lay in the hammock and she looked at the clouds and the birds. Susan lay in the hammock and looked at the clouds and the birds. The second subject, she, is not mentioned. Complex sentence. Read this sentence. Susan lay in the hammock because it was warm and sunny. This sentence has two finite verbs, lay, with Susan as its subject, and was, with it as its subject. Therefore, there are two clauses in this sentence. Susan lay in the hammock, and because it was warm and sunny. The first clause makes complete sense and is capable of standing on its own. You already know that a clause that expresses a complete thought and can stand alone in a sentence is called the main or principal clause. Therefore, this clause is the main or principal clause. The second clause makes sense, but not complete sense. It cannot stand on its own as an independent sentence. To convey its full meaning, it has to be joined to the first clause. You also know that a clause that cannot stand on its own and depends on the main clause to complete its meaning is called a subordinate clause. Therefore, this clause is called the subordinate clause. The sentence is called a complex sentence. A sentence which is made up of a principal or main clause and at least one subordinate clause is called a complex sentence. In a complex sentence, the subordinate clause is joined to the main clause by a subordinating conjunction that if, who, when, where, before, although, since, after, yet, unless, because, as, are some subordinating conjunctions. Look at these complex sentences and notice how the subordinating conjunctions join the main clause to the subordinate clause. I know that you want to learn scuba diving. She found her folder where she had left it. Although this umbrella is very old, it is in good condition.